program. You can see this is Excel program open on the screen. This program contains some data entered into it. You can see on this worksheet I have entered a data for creating a mark sheet. You can see the roll number, name, subject names and marks obtained in the subjects by different students has been entered already. I hope all of you know how to enter the data in the Excel sheet. Now based on this data we will do some special work. That means we will use some special features of the Excel program here. First of all, we have to find out the total marks. For finding the total mark we have to use the formula, or we can use the ready-made formula that is part of the Excel program from the home tab. Click on the home tab. You can see here AutoSum is present. This AutoSum can be used in various ways. First of all, we have to select the data for which we want the sum. So you can type the formula here directly, or you can select the data. I am going to select the data since we have to learn about the reference. So what is cell reference? When we are entering the data in other cells, and that is based on the data which is present in some other cell, then we have to enter the address of that particular cell in the different or current cell. So we can copy the data directly from the cell into the current cell. This is known as cell referencing. I will show you. Here I am entering the data or formula for calculating the sum. So before we can enter any formula, we have to enter the equals to sign. Then we have to enter the formula or function, that is the sum function that we will use here. Then we have to enter the range of cells. So the range of cells includes the cell address from where till where we have to include the numbers into the formula. So our cell range starts from the column D. Can you see here? This is column D. So the cell address would be D, and what is the row number? 2. So D2. Now see, I have entered D2 here in the sum function. D2 is referencing a particular cell, and what is the data present there in the D2 cell? 80. So the moment I will enter a cell address in another cell, this means the cell address which has been entered into the current cell, that cell has been referenced. So I am using cell reference. I hope you must have understood what is cell reference. Now then I will give a range mark. So this colon mark is known as range mark. And which one is the last cell? Last cell for our calculation is the H2. So I have clicked on the H2, or you can enter the H2 address manually also from the keyboard. Then we'll close the bracket and press the enter key. You can see here we have got the total marks, that is 400. So when we will calculate the total marks for roll number 1, then we have to include the data which is present in cell D2 to cell H2. So you can see here in our formula that we have used for calculating the total marks, we have used cell D2 to cell H2. So D2 has been used where? In another cell. So this is known as cell referencing. So when I will drag this formula, dragging means copying the formula. So the moment I will bring my cursor at the bottom right corner, the cursor will change into a plus sign. You can see here on the screen. And when I will start dragging it, what will happen? The formula will be copied in other cells. So you can see all the cells for each of the roll numbers has been populated, and you can see there the total mark of each student. I have not entered the formula here. So this is the benefit of using the cell reference. And by default we use the relative cell reference. There are 3 types of cell references. By default we use the relative cell reference. Whenever we drag any formula or any cell which contains the reference to some other cell, what will happen? In the next cell till where we will drag, the next cell address will be copied. Okay, so we can see here in the formula bar Earlier we had entered the cell address in the cell I2, D2 and H2, but here you can see in the I3 the cell address has been changed in the function. What is it? D3 and H3. So this is happening due to the effect of relative cell reference. I hope you have understood. Similarly, when we have to calculate the percentage, you must know the formula to calculate the percentage. There is a very simple formula for calculating the percentage, equals to, then how much marks the student have got? 400 marks he has got. So what we have to do? We have to enter the formula for the percentage here. So we'll use the cell reference once again. The total marks is 400, so I will click on the total marks cell. You can see the 400 has not been copied. The formula, the address of that cell has been copied here. Then we have to multiply it by 100. Then we have to divide it by maximum mark. Where is the maximum mark? Maximum mark is present just below the subject column. So I'll select that. It is C2. So before we can divide the marks obtained and multiplied by 100, we have to enclose them in parentheses. So what will happen? First of all, the value which is present in the I2 cell will be multiplied with 100, and then it will be divided with the value which is present in the C2. Now you can see here I have used a constant number here, that is 100. That means if I will again drag this cell, what will happen? Let us see whether the 100 will change or not. You can see here the 100 is not changing. I am clicking on the next cell where I have not entered the formula, but the formula was copied. You can see here the 100 remains 100. Suppose I don't want to use the constant value here. I want to use a cell address instead of it. So I am using a cell address here. I am just using the column L, and here I am entering a value 100. Now instead of the 100 in this function, I will replace the value of 100 with L2. So after modifying this formula, press the enter key. Still I am getting the same value here in the cell J2, which holds the data for the percentage of roll number 1. Now I am going to drag the formula again and let us see what is happening. You can see here all the data which is present except in the cell J2 has become 0. Why it has become 0? Because we are multiplying. You can see in the formula bar we are multiplying I3 with L3. Since relative cell reference is on, so we are not getting any data because this cell is empty. The L3 is empty, nothing is there. And when you will multiply anything with null value or 0, nothing will happen. It will become 0. Have you understood? So how can we get the answer? Either we have to enter the data in all the corresponding cells which has been used in our formula. So for that we can drag it. So we have got 100 values in each of the cell addresses of those cells which has been referenced into the percentage formula. So we have got the result again. Now I don't want to do this. Okay, I'm going to delete it once more. Again, nothing is here, 0 value. So how can we get the correct answer after dragging this formula? So we can fix the cell address where the data is present, and we don't want data to be changed whenever we are dragging the formula. So the relative cell reference should not be used here. So we can use both. In the same formula we can use the relative cell referencing and the new type of referencing that is known as absolute cell referencing. So the relative and absolute cell referencing, where they are used, it will become mixed referencing. So in this example we can have all three types of cell references. One is the relative cell difference, second one is the absolute cell difference, and the third one is the mixed cell difference. So I am going to fix the value for the L2. So whenever this formula will be dragged in some other cells, then also the value of the L2 will remain same. The L2 will never become L3. For this we have to prefix a dollar sign before the column name also and before the row number also. So this is how we can set a cell difference to absolute cell difference. Let us see the effect of this. Now again I am going to drag this formula. Since we have entered the formula in the J2 cell, I am going to drag it now till the J11. Now once again you can see I have not entered the 100 value in each of the cells in the L column for each of the student. You can see here the data is present in only one cell, that is L2, but we are getting that data in all other cells where we have to calculate the percentage, and the value for the L and 2 remains same. You can see here this is not changing, but you can see I3 is changing, C3 is also changing. So this is example for the absolute cell difference. So in this formula we have used the absolute, we have also used the relative cell difference. So this is how the cell differences are used. And what is cell difference? I hope you must have understood. Now we come to the next feature of the Excel program. Suppose we have to find out who has got highest mark in Hindi subject. Where is Hindi? This is the column for the Hindi. So we will select the Hindi column. When you press on the column, click on the column name, the entire column will be selected. And in the home tab, you can see the sorting tool. There are two types of sortings we can do on the cells, that is ascending order and descending order. Since we have to find out the highest marks obtained by any student in the Hindi subject, so we will sort the data using the ascending order. That means largest to smallest. So click on the sort largest to smallest tool, and you can see one message will come. This message shows that it is asking for you, it's asking for your permission. Can it change the data in another order? Yes, we can change. Now you can see here the highest marks obtained by any student in Hindi is 93. Who is that student? Roll number 3. So you can see here the roll numbers has also been changed, the order of the name has been changed, so the entire record is changed here. So it doesn't mean that we are if you are sorting on a subject, what will happen, only the marks for that particular subject will change. If it will happen, the entire record will be corrupted or will get wrong information from that record. So the entire data present in each record will also change according to the sorting. Now I want to sort Hindi again in descending order, that means from smallest to largest. Again we have got the message. This message is asking whether we want to select the entire data present in that particular record. Yes. Okay. Now you can see the minimum number obtained by any student in Hindi subject, his record has been placed at top. That is the first record in this table. Have you understood? This is the example of sorting. Now come to filtering. Suppose I want to see the record of any one student. We have several students here. So for this we have to filter a particular data. Then we will go again on the sorting and filtering, and here this time I will select the filter data option. Since I am filtering the data based on the names of the student, so I have to find out the particular name for which we are sorting the data. I am going to uncheck the values here. I have to deselect everything from this list, and we have to select the name of that particular child. So that is Ritik. Click on OK. Here you can see the record of only one student that we had selected. We can filter the data based on the multiple records also. So this is how the filtering can be used. Filtering doesn't mean that the data that we had entered into the Excel sheet, all of them has been deleted except the Ritik or the selected data. all the data are present here. After we have done our work with the filtering, we can go back and we can find our entire data. So today we have learned just till now how can we enter the data, how can we calculate total marks using any function, and how can we create our own formula to calculate the percentage. Then cell referencing, there are three types of cell referencing: relative cell referencing, mixed cell referencing, and absolute cell referencing. By default, relative cell referencing is used. We have used that, and we have also seen the use of the absolute cell referencing. Now after this we will learn about customizing the background. That means formatting the background or foreground of the cells based on some condition. For that we will use the conditional formatting. Suppose we want to highlight the data of each student in each subject where the student has got above 75 marks or equals to 75 marks or above 75 marks. Both condition will use here. So I am going to select the data on which we have to apply the conditional formatting. I have selected each and every marks for each and every subject, from Hindi to computer, from the record number 1 to record number 11. So after selecting the data for the conditional formatting, go to the conditional formatting tool, then click on the criteria. Which criteria you want? I want a new criteria that will be made by me. So we can create here new rules for the formatting. We can highlight the cells using some criteria already mentioned here. So I will use the greater than criteria. Click on it. Greater than what? Greater than 74. What was the condition that we had to use? 75 or above. So 75 is greater than 74. Okay, and all the consecutive values which are above 75, they must also be highlighted using this condition. Okay, you can select the color according to your choice. I am going to use green color. Now you can see the conditional formatting has applied. Here you can see the marks in each of the subject which is above 75 or equals to 75, they have been highlighted. The background color of the cell has become slightly greenish, and deep green you can see the font color. I'm going to arrange the data properly. Again, for this I will use the sorting. I'll select the roll number, then go to sorting, then I'll select the smallest to largest. Sort. Now you can see the data has been once again organized properly. So this is how we can use the conditional formatting. After the conditional formatting has been used, you can apply multiple conditions on the cells. Again, how can we apply another condition? Select the range of the cells, go to the conditional formatting. This time I will highlight those cells where the students have scored less than 50 marks. So less than criteria will be used here. Less than what? 50. Type 50 here. Click on OK. Which color you want for the background? You can select from here. I want red color. OK. So you can see only the font color has been changed here. I have selected only font color. So any student who has scored less than 50 marks in the subjects, those marks has been highlighted using the red font color. So I hope all of you enjoyed today's class. Try it at your home if you are having any laptop or computer at your home. Bye bye.